What does it take to change a whole country? I mean, really change it. Not just with new policies or big projects, but by changing the way people think. Well, today we're diving into Ignited Minds by the one and only A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. And let me tell you, this is way more than just a book. It's kind of like a blueprint for unlocking the incredible power hidden inside a billion people. And the whole thing kicks off with a moment that almost ended his life. So let's get into it. So the story of this book, and really a huge turning point in Kalam's own life's work, it doesn't start in some quiet library. No, it starts with a sudden, violent brush with death. We're talking about a moment of pure crisis that somehow leads to this amazing sense of clarity. Okay, just picture this for a second. You're on your way to give a speech, right? And just moments before you land, the engine on your helicopter just fails. That is exactly what happened to Kalam. On September 30th, 2001, his chopper literally just fell out of the sky. And in his own words, he said it hit the earth with a thud. I mean, it is just incredible to think that everyone on board walked away from what should have been a fatal crash. But this miraculous escape, it wasn't just a lucky break. It was the trigger for something, well, something that would change everything for him. So that same night, after the crash, they gave him a tranquilizer to help him sleep. And what happened next? He described it as being much more intense and vivid than a dream. It was in this state that he started searching for an answer to one of the biggest, most painful questions humanity has ever faced. And this was the question that was just eating at him. I mean, think about it. He had just survived a crash, only hours after another crash had killed a really promising leader. It forced him to ask, why? Why are we as a species always so divided by violence and conflict? And in this, dreamlike state, he wasn't by himself. He found himself in a vast desert. And there, surrounding him, were 5 of the greatest minds in history. We're talking about symbols of leadership, compassion, and true wisdom. He was basically trying to get answers from the best of humanity. And the message he got from them? It was totally unanimous, crystal clear. It had nothing to do with religion or politics or what side of a border you're on. They told him that the whole point of anything we do, any idea we follow, has to be for the good of all humankind, period. And that became his new mission. So, with this powerful new sense of clarity, Kalam started a brand new mission. He kind of shifted his focus away from, missiles and high-tech stuff and turned it towards the future of his country, its kids. He felt like he had to go out and find the real soul of India in its young people. So he started traveling all over the country, right? Visiting schools in really remote places, talking to literally tens of thousands of students. And the thing is, he wasn't there to give a boring lecture. No way. He was there to listen, to really understand what they were dreaming about, and to answer their questions no matter how difficult they were. One of the first questions he got was from a student in Tripura, and it was so simple but so powerful. The student asked, "Where do we get a role model from?" In a world that's so confusing, who do you look up to? Kalam's answer was straight to the point. Look to your parents, look to your teachers. He said they are the ones who truly build your character. And the creativity of kids, it's just amazing, isn't it? A student in Assam who was watching the Brahmaputra River flood asked this brilliant question: why can't we connect our rivers to help states that are starved of water? I mean, it's such a huge, logical idea, something that maybe only a kid who isn't bogged down by all the red tape could come up with so clearly. But maybe the deepest question of all came when he was visiting Anand in Gujarat. Now, this was a place that had just gone through some terrible communal violence. And a student stood up and asked this really sharp question. Who is our enemy? Like, who are we really supposed to be fighting? So Kalam, being a great teacher, turned the question back to the other students. And a young girl named Snehal Thakur gave an answer so powerful that he dedicated the entire book to her. She said, "Our enemy is poverty." Wow. And that just nails the core idea of the book, right? The real fight isn't with each other. It's against poverty, against the things that hold people down. Okay, so if poverty is the enemy, how do you win that fight? Well, Kalam believed the answer wasn't to import some new idea from another country. No, he thought the answer was right there, in rediscovering a spirit that India already had. So he looked back in time to the incredible scientists and teachers who built the foundations of the modern nation. And the Nobel Prize winner, Sir C.V. Raman, he put it perfectly. Kalam felt that India was suffering from what he called a defeatist spirit, almost like a national inferiority complex that was holding everybody back. So the very first step wasn't about building something new, it was psychological. It was about getting that spirit of victory, that self-belief, back. And if you're looking for role models for that spirit, he pointed to three absolute giants. Physicists who didn't just write papers, they built institutions. You've got Dr. Kothari, the guy behind India's defense research, Dr. Bhabha, the father of the entire atomic energy program, and Dr. Sarabhai, the visionary who dreamed up the space program. See, they didn't just do research, they literally built the future. And that spirit of winning, it could bring everyone together. Get this, here's an incredible story. When Dr. Sarabhai needed a place for India's very first rocket launch, he found the perfect spot in a small fishing village. But there was a problem. An old church was right in the middle of it. So he went to the bishop, and the bishop stood up in front of his whole congregation on Sunday, and he told them, look, science and spirituality are both searching for truth to help people. And you know what happened? The entire congregation said amen, and they gave up their church, their homes, everything for the cause of science. Just amazing. So all of this, it all builds up to Kalam's main point. And it's a big one. It's not enough to just look back and admire these great people from the past. He truly believed that same power, that same visionary spark, exists inside every single one of us, just waiting to be ignited. And his call to action? It's not for a government or a committee, it's for you. And this gets us right to the heart of his whole philosophy. For Kalam, everything, and I mean everything, starts with a dream. He used to make school kids chant this with him. A dream isn't just some fluffy fantasy. It's the starting point. It's what turns into thoughts, and those thoughts are what lead to action. If you don't have the dream, you've got nothing. And he boiled this whole process down into a simple, powerful three-step mantra. Step 1, thinking is your capital. Your ideas are your most valuable resource. Step 2, enterprise is the way. You have to have the courage to actually start something, to try something new. And step 3, hard work is the solution. Because, let's face it, there's just no getting around it. You got to put in the work. Thinking, enterprise, hard work. That's the formula. So in the end, Kalam's message comes full circle. It's not just about a nation. It's about the individual. It's about you. He showed us how a near-death experience, a vivid dream, and a few simple questions from kids could completely change a person's life mission. He proved that the spirit that built a nation isn't just something in a history book. It's alive. So the question he leaves hanging in the air for all of us is really simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. What dream are you going to ignite?